Hello and welcome to Help Desk with Joe, and I have with me, as always, on this wonderful fall day, Joe.
We're back.
We're back, and we got an interesting topic today.
Yes.
And we discussed a little bit of this earlier, but I think this is a good topic to have at this point.
Right.
We're not dunking anything in water or anything cool like that, but we are having a good discussion, and you're going to walk us through some comparisons.
Right.
So go ahead and introduce us to the topic today.
Okay. Well, Christmas is right around the corner. Yep. According to Walmart and all the big stores, it's already here because you got Christmas candy right beside Halloween candy.
You betcha. Yep, it starts early, by golly.
Yeah. So last week, Apple made the iPad, the new generation of the iPads, available to the public.
Yep.
So we're going to do a little price comparison and spec comparison. So anyone that's wanting a new iPad for Christmas, here's the episode to answer all the questions.
Right, and this is another part of you helping out people in the community, making their lives more efficient, protecting them from people that are trying to scam them, and helping them shop for stuff that they'll probably go out and buy, and this way they have a good idea of what they're looking at.
Right.
And what they may be looking for.
Right, and try to save them a little money in the process.
There you go. I like all those things. That's a good deal. Okay, we're going to start out with the iPad Air and the iPad Air 2.
Right.
Okay, go ahead and start your comparison.
Okay. So the new iPad is the iPad Air 2, which is the follow-up to last year's version, just the new iPad Air. So we've got first set of specs here. Okay. And the difference between the new version is the last generation is only available in the silver color on the back, but now it's in black, silver, and gold.
Okay, so a little bit of variation in looks.
Right.
Talk to us about the specific specifications.
Okay. Well, on the pricing here, we have both the Wi-Fi plus the Wi-Fi plus cellular. So for the cheapest route to go on this would be the Wi-Fi only at $399. That's the original iPad Air. The new version is $499.
Right.
And that's for 16 gig. Now, also a new option that they have is the 128 gig version for $699.
Okay. And what's your thoughts on the comparison of what we're looking at there? What do you think is for instance, is the value worth it? What would make you want to buy the more expensive ones?
Well, it all goes back to literally what you use it for. Would be whether you use it for just playing games, watching movies. You might be able to get away with the 16 gig, but if you do a lot of office work, spreadsheets, stuff like that, if that's what you use as your mobile computer, you may want to look in a little higher level of storage.
Higher capacity.
Right, but one nice thing that they've included now is they've completely done away with the 32 gig.
Right.
It's only 16, 64, or 128. The 32 gig does not exist unless you go to the iPad Air.
Right, you go back to the older version.
Right.
Okay, and the $100 difference in your mind, worth it to go ahead and upgrade?
We'll get to that,
later.
shortly.
I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah.
Jumping ahead. Okay. All right, let's go on to your next one.
Okay. And here on the displays, a lot of it's the same. It's the same screen size, a 9.7 inch, and the pixels is the same. Literally, the only difference between the new generation and the previous one is the fully laminated display and the anti-reflective coating. Basically what that means is it's a lot sharper image and a lot less reflection.
So helping with the visuals.
Right.
Okay. And on to the next one, you got some specific height, weight dimensions.
Right. And pretty much the same thing. The only difference is the thickness. They've actually made it a little thinner and actually cut in some of the weight.
Just a little bit lighter.
Yeah, they put on a little diet and took some weight off of it as well.
I need one of those. Okay, all right, and on to the next one.
And the processor, they put a new processor in it. They went away from the A7 processor to the A8X, and you can see there they've increased the motion processor in it as well.
Okay, so a little bit more hardware in there.
Right.
Okay. And this next one we're looking at, it's a little small, goes over the cameras.
Right, and pretty much the same thing over it. The only difference is it has an 8 megapixel camera chip in it, and it also has burst mode. This is a new feature.
Yeah, okay.
This is a new feature with the new iPhone 6 and the new iPad. Burst mode is you push a button and it takes several pictures at once.
Yep, I have that on my phone. It is nice if you're doing like action shots or if you're not sure if you're going to get a good clear shot, you can use burst mode and it works wonderful. Okay, good addition.
And the video recording is the same thing. The only thing they've added is slow-mo mode, which is slow motion recording.
Yep, okay. And then you got a little slide here about the sensors.
Yes. Now the big selling point on this new iPad is it was first introduced with the new Apple iPhone 6 is the Touch ID. This gives you the capability of using your fingerprint to log into your phone. Instead of punching that 4-digit code or password on your phone, you just tap your thumb and it's ready to go.
Right, reads off your thumbprint.
Right.
Okay, nice addition.
And then the barometer, this is also a new feature. It actually helps with your accelerometer for your movements and stuff
Yep.
like that. It actually measures the air pressure to determine your elevation. So it actually helps.
Some people will be very happy with that. Fishermen especially will always
Right.
seem to look at the barometer and determine what the weather's going to be and how the fish will be biting. So,
Right. Plus, they also use this for people who like to measure their steps.
Yep.
It helps more accurately measure your steps going upstairs.
Yep. Nice. Okay.
So that covers the 2 iPads.
All right. And then you got an overall view there, but then now you're going to start in with the Mini 2 and the Mini 3.
Right. Yeah, this is the mini version of the iPads, the iPad minis.
Okay. All right, let's get into those. And you got some more slides here.
Yep. Okay, so as you can see here, it's the same thing as the other one. The previous version was in black and silver. The new iPad 3s are in black, gold, and silver. And you see the prices there. $299 is the cheapest way you can get away with an iPad 2 versus $399 for the 16 gig on the new iPad 3.
And they got rid of the 32 gigabyte as well.
Right, yeah, 32
Okay.
does not exist, including on the iPhones. 32 gig is no longer
Just gone.
exist.
Okay. Back to the display.
Now here's the tricky part. You think with the newest iPad it comes with all these new bells and whistles. Well, this iPad mini, as you can see here, the display settings are exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah, there isn't any difference at all.
No.
Okay. And then on to the dimensions.
Same thing, exactly same as the previous model, nothing new there.
No dot for this one.
No.
Okay, so the iPad minis are the same. All right.
Same thing as the processor, exact same processor as the previous
So
generation.
not upgraded there. All right.
And with the cameras, same thing as before, exactly the same
Okay.
as the previous model. Video recording, exactly the same, nothing's changed there.
And the sensors.
Literally, the only difference here is the Touch ID. It has the fingerprint reading.
Okay,
It
so
does, but it does not have the barometer as the big iPad does.
Right. So the minis very similar. A lot, actually.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Minus can't get to 32 gig and a couple of little things.
Right.
Okay. That's a nice rundown. I really like how you've thrown the slides up. Everybody can see those. Pause this video, look through it, make the comparisons they'd like.
Right.
And I jumped the gun and asked you this earlier. So what are your thoughts? Because I know price is always a big issue for
Right.
folks. If they have a specific idea of what they want performance-wise and what they're using it for, they can look at the specific specs and make a little better decision. But when it comes down to it, price.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
Between we're talking about the 9.7 inch, just the regular iPad Air 2s.
Right.
You know, with the price, if you can afford that and you really want the few extra bells and whistles come with, I'd say go for it. I mean, I really can't see a problem with spending that extra $100.
Right.
But if you're still wanting an iPad and can't swing an extra $100, you'll be just as happy with the previous model.
Yep.
There's no real big difference.
Right. Just a little bit better processor, a couple little bells and whistles. Otherwise,
Yeah, you get the Touch ID, so
yep, so you're in pretty good shape
so
either way.
right. So with that, I mean, either way you're going to be happy.
Okay. And then the iPad Mini.
Now here's
this is the gal.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Here's the big stickler point with the iPad Mini. You're paying $100 more, and literally the only thing that you're getting extra is a Touch ID.
Yep.
You know, if you're buying it for, say, just like for your kids to watch movies and play games, I can't justify buying for that Touch ID. Now, if you do a lot of business, you know, if you got a lot of business stuff on there, you definitely pay that extra $100, get that Touch ID, just an extra layer of security. But if you're buying it for just entertainment purposes, I cannot justify that extra $100.
Yep. Okay. So, and that's a really good, honest assessment of that. $100 goes a long ways.
Right.
And if you're deciding on the Mini, that could influence your decision, and justifiably so.
Right, and I can't justify $100 just for an extra sensor in an iPad. That it doesn't.
The little security code and.
Right, it doesn't
$700.
calculate to
Yeah.
me.
Okay. All right. Any other thoughts as far as when you're going through this? Any surprises? Anything pop up and you said, boy, I didn't realize this.
The biggest surprise for me was the minis. I mean, Apple is always, whenever they bring out the newest model of something, they always add extra bells and whistles to give it looks extra ooh and awe factor. And then when I sit down and look at the mini specs, I was disappointed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's like you're charging people $100 more for the same thing, practically the same thing.
Right. And you're right. Apple is not known for that.
No.
They're known for throwing out the newest stuff and letting their consumers get it and have all the bells and whistles.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, I really like it. I think this is a great idea. You went through all the specs with everybody. You throw them up on the screen, let them check them out. They can make a good decision
Right.
based off of what they need and what they may want, especially if you're buying presents and so forth. This could make a big difference.
Right.
Okay. Any final thoughts as far as if folks needed to know anything else. I know you kind of covered that, but
Right. Well, as far as the specs go, we can we'll put the link underneath in the show notes of where exactly we pulled these specs. These specs were pulled straight from Apple's website. These aren't specs that I made up. These came straight off the Apple's website this afternoon, right before we recorded the show. So I mean, these are the most current, up-to-date specs that we have.
Yep. And you've covered it all. Okay. If someone wanted to get a hold of you, they had more questions, or they wanted to go over the specs with you, or they have a particular need that, and they're thinking about purchasing one of these, but are just not sure how they do that.
They can give us a call at our offices at 304-927-3588. Check out our website at amdigitaltechnologies.com and click under the Contact Us section, and there's actually a box you can email us. You can communicate to us directly through that box, or be like Dave and like us on Facebook.
I like the Facebook that gets me all your daily specials and keeps me up to speed, and I like the little reminders that pop up, so that's awesome. And your new store is fabulous.
Yes.
Lots of good stuff to go look at in there. And as always, you and Cena are always up for helping someone out that's making a tough decision or has questions.
Yes.
So I'd highly encourage you to touch base with Joe or Cena if you need help or do have questions. And, of course, you're local. So
yes.
Anytime you're shopping local, we're going into the Christmas season. As you said, Walmart and the stores have their Christmas stuff out.
Right.
We're not in November yet. It's Christmas time, by golly. So if you have any questions, need to buy some stuff, or have issues or technology problems that you need handled, contact Joe and Cena McDonald here, who are local to West Virginia, our Spencer area, and support all our shows at A&M Digital Technologies. And, of course, you guys do all our shows for us.
Yes.
You just finished up doing a middle school round of shows, and you're getting ready to go into a new one.
Yep. And we're real excited about that.
And you produce all our podcasts and shows here on Ustream and YouTube.
Yes.
And that goes out on our Facebook page as well, Patch 21. So awesome. We really appreciate it. And I think this is a great comparison, and this is quality information you're throwing out there for people that have questions when they're going out to start laying away those Christmas gifts.
Right, because I can tell you, as sure as I'm sitting here, I'm going to get at least 5 people say, well, which iPad do I want for Christmas, and what's the difference? I already got you covered.
There you go. Watch the videos, take care of them. You can cruise back through our videos. We're over 50 now, right?
Oh, yeah, way over 50.
So you can go back through the videos, and we attack a lot of topics. And Joe, as always, you guys are saving people money, making their lives more efficient, helping answering those tough technology questions, and keeping them from getting ripped off.
Exactly.
We like it. So any questions or anything like that, contact A&M Digital Technologies. And, of course, thanks A&M Digital Technologies for hosting this show. And we'll see you next week with a new issue. Hopefully we'll have something we can throw in water.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, get Cena's phone back out. We'll do it again just for kicks. All right, well, have a great week, and we'll be back next week. And this is Help Desk with Joe and Joe.
Thank you much.